Media outlet cannot be muzzled just because it criticizes the government, is what the Supreme Court said today as it lifted curbs on a Malayalam news channel ordered by the centre to be shut by the centre on national security grounds or being denied their license. The court said that the channel media wants criticism of the government's policies and actions cannot be construed as anti-national or anti-establishment, and that an independent press is essentially for a vibrant democracy. Scrapping an order by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting that the channel refused to renew the government refused to renew the channel's broadcast license for want of security clearance. The Supreme Court pulled up the Home Ministry for raising national security claims out of thin air. National security cannot be raised to deny people their rights. It was raised by the Home Ministry in a cavalier manner. In this case is what Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud actually had to say. So that's an important development. Yes, sir, thank you very much for being with us. This is a landmark judgment, not just in terms of your company, but also I think in terms of press freedoms. Because I think I would argue that perhaps the most important aspect of this is, and I quote, the critical views of the media on policies of the government cannot be termed anti-establishment. If truth to power is the basis of journalism, then the Supreme Court seems to be reinforcing what we all believe in.
Thank you for inviting me to your show, Vishnu. The first point is that, as you said rightly, this judgment is not just a win for Media One only. This is a landmark judgment, as you said, and this makes it very clear that freedom of the press cannot be taken for granted. This was very clear to anyone in this country, except for those in their power. I should say that. Mm-hmm. And what this judgment does, in fact, is that to correct them, correct those in the power, I will say. So, secondly, criticizing, as you said earlier, criticizing the government on merit is not an anti-national activity at all. Not that it is. That should be the way an independent media should function. Actually, the Supreme Court has made it very clear that should be the way maybe an independent media organization should function. We were accused of criticizing the government on on issues like CAA, NRC, and the misuse of UAPA, etc., etc. These criticism cannot be judged as anti-national activity. That is the major highlight of this judgment. And another fact is that national security rhetoric cannot be used, cannot be considered as an excuse to ban a media organization at all. If there is a real national security concern, what should the government do is that they should come up with the right reasons for that. Maybe justify.
But Mr. Raman, let me just jump in over here because the point you mentioned, and we know this is a fact, that in the past. It's true across fora, it's true in Parliament, it's true as far as dealing with the media is concerned, and it's not just this government, even in the past. National security, those two words give the government some sort of magic power to deny information, right? Or to label people or to stereotype people, and then it sort of adds up to, they violate national security, hence they are anti-national. Today also what the Supreme Court said is this entire business of handing over arguments in sealed envelopes is deeply problematic. In the past, on national security grounds, this has been done. So what did the Supreme Court actually talk about that, saying that the sealed envelope business is problematic? How significant is that?
The point is that, on the pretext of national security, the government does not reveal the reasons for the ban on Media One, and the Supreme Court considers this action as a denial of natural justice. There is the point. Actually, Supreme Court reminds the government of that to give the idea or give the information to the other party also is a basic, that is to the heart of our constitution. to the heart of our legal practice. So the Supreme Court has reminded this to the government. So this issue of sealed cover has been there on discussion for a time now. I think you remember it. You can also remember this one. But only now the Supreme Court has ultimately closed the issue. Right. Actually, even though on earlier occasions the Supreme Court had expressed its displeasure over it, this is the first time that this Supreme Court.
And sir, I found, Mr. Raman, two words that the Supreme Court used particularly significant when they said that the Home Ministry was raising national security claims out of thin air. In other words, it seemed to be manufactured. I think that's again key. I mean, the entire argument on national security, the Supreme Court seemed to suggest, was utterly baseless.
Vishnu, ours is the channel, maybe one of the few channels in the country that has come clean out of a rigorous judicial review. Now, we have been examined right from A to Z on our functioning, our ownership, our content, and as well as anything. So we have come up. I would say in the country, NDTV was the first major channel to go through such a audit. But now Media One has also won this audit, this judicial audit, I will say, and judicial
trial
review.
By fire. And, right, Mr. Raman? You won that trial by fire today.